Here at Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida, and today I am going to do an entire park tour / walkthrough of Universal Studios Orlando. So as you can see, the very first thing we're going to do here is enter the Universal Studios Arch, head up here, and give our passes to the front gate to get into the park. And now that we're right inside the park, we're going to walk up here because we have two choices of which direction to go. We come up to this little fork and we can either go straight up here by Minion Mayhem, which I think is probably the most common way people go when they come into the park, or you can turn right and head down Hollywood, right here in front of Minion Mayhem. If you look slightly to the left of it, I do believe that is the Blue Man Group entrance. And then to the right of Minion Mayhem is Shrek 4D Theater. We're going to continue up the road here. Here we are, we're getting to the end of the Minion Mayhem and Shrek 4D Theater. And if we turn to the left here, that is the entrance to the Rip Rocket. Now you can turn right instead along Shrek 4D Theater and pop out over there between Transformers and the Transformer Photo Op. But you can get to that a little bit better way if we just continue on down this way. As you can see, next to Rip Rocket is the Universal Stage. I'm not exactly sure what the official name of this is, but this is, I believe, where all the concerts for like Rock the Universe take place at. And we're going to continue down here. We're going to come up to the Monster Cafe next. So when it comes to the Monster Cafe, there's actually two things. There's this little outbuilding here. It sells frozen drinks, beer, slushies, soda, that sort of thing. And then directly to the right of that is the actual Monster Cafe. It's a cafeteria-style restaurant, so you just walk in, pick your food, sit down, and eat. It's heavily themed in there, too, like classic monsters. Very cool. And then just up past the Monster Cafe is the Jimmy Fallon Race Through New York ride. Sort of a 3D motion simulator ride. Pretty good. It utilizes one of those virtual queues where you go up, get your ticket from a kiosk, gives you time to come back, and ride the ride. Those are the kiosks you get your virtual ticket from, just right down from Jimmy Fallon. If we turn this direction, we're going to walk this way, we're going to head to the Mummy. You can see the Mummy, nice little dark indoor roller coaster. And right next to it, to the left, is the lockers. You can't take any of your stuff on the Mummy, but you can get one of the free lockers there. We're going to continue up the road here. There's the gift shop for the Mummy where you pop out. It's actually a pretty big gift shop, and it directly connects to this arcade. And then directly across the street from it is Finnegan's. It's one of my favorite restaurants here at Universal. It's an excellent Irish pub. We're right here on the block of where Finnegan's is. You can kind of look down this direction and see the Transformers ride. I'll head over there in a second. One of my favorite things about Universal is all these facades that they've built up. And if we look in some of the windows, there's some cute little fun scenes. I really enjoy going from window to window to see what they got in here. Let me show you one or two more. This one's pretty easy to see. It's just a little pet shop. I'm gonna walk up, get a quick look at this. Madame Basil, Psychic Greetings. I think that's her name, Madame Basil, but this is one of my favorite ones. You can kind of see in there, it's a little bit dark. It's kind of a gloomy day, so that's not helping me. And at the end of this little street that I walk down is the entrance to Transformers. And back to where Finnegan's is, so we're gonna finish up the New York section real quick here. And as we're just about at the tail end of New York, there's the Ben & Jerry's store here. Little Italian restaurant over there. As we come up to here, we go to the left, we'll head into the San Francisco section of the park, but there's just a tad bit more to show of New York. Right here at the corner is a Starbucks. So we kind of just turned the corner here and headed back towards Transformers. It is a much better shot of the entrance to Transformers. Like I said, these little window facades are awesome. I love the displays. I suggest anybody coming here, again, take your time, go through them. You won't regret it, it's fun. This is my favorite section of the park. There's a couple little back alleyways here that you can cut through New York and get from one side. If I go down that alleyway, I pop out where Finnegan's is. And if I go this way, gets me back to where I'm almost ready to go into the San Francisco section of the park. To give you an idea what it looks like. Alright, here we go. Let's head into the San Francisco section. I do like looking at this, all these little decorations up here by the waterfront. B-Builders is a really cool street show you should watch if you're here. There's a bunch of construction workers out there making music on all those inanimate objects, like those buckets and trash cans, and it's good. I like that one. Onward we go through San Francisco. Up here, just past Fast and the Furious entrance. Over here on the right, we're going to come to Richter Burger. It's just basically sort of a quick service burger place you can go in. We're going to keep walking through San Francisco here. Now, up here normally, on the right, there's a photo op back there. Sort of the last remnant from the Jaws ride. Unfortunately, today there's construction walls around it. I'm not sure what's going on over there, but I'm not going to be able to go over there and get a good shot of the shark. We're going to move on past the exit of Fast and the Furious up there. We're going to head up to the London section. I say London, but it's actually called the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. This is the Diagon Alley section of the Universal Studios parks. A couple more restaurants right here as we leave San Francisco. Lombard's Landing? I'm not 100% sure how to say that. It's a seafood place. And then up here, San Francisco Pastry Company. Sort of a little, well, it's a pastry place. And we're coming up on what's probably the most popular part of this park, the Harry Potter section. King's Cross, right outside San Francisco. That is the entrance to the Hogwarts Express that'll take you over to the Islands of Adventure. Fun little thing about this particular part of the park, on them really hot days, if you stand right here, and I'm quite a ways away from that entrance, you can feel the air conditioning from King's Cross. It's pretty intense. It's quite a little Arctic blast to kind of cool you off. One last note about King's Cross, though. You do need either an annual pass or a park-to-park ticket to be able to get on the Hogwarts Express and ride it over to Hogsmeade and Islands of Adventure. You cannot ride it if you only have a Universal park ticket. Right here between King's Cross and Diagon Alley, there's this little ATM. I call it the secret ATM because I think it's not the only one in the park, I'm sure, but it's the only one I know of in the park. I don't really use ATMs, so they're not on my radar for remembering their locations, but I always got kind of a kick out of this one because it's kind of tucked away back there. Continuing up here now, right before I go into Diagon Alley, to the right is the night bus and a fountain. Let's take a look at that first, and then we'll head into Diagon Alley. The night bus is fun. Walk up to it, take a look in those windows if you're ever here. You will not regret it. It's pretty funny. And then here is a fountain. I don't really know the name of this fountain, but it's a cool fountain. And we're going to turn directly across from the night bus and walk into Diagon Alley. Now, I'm going to walk through the Diagon Alley section fairly quickly. I have done a little bit better video, a little bit more in-depth video of Diagon Alley, and I can put that in the description below. But let's take a look quickly here. What I mean by quickly is I'm just not going to go into any of the shops today. Now, this is usually the busiest section of the park on any given day, unless you're here for Halloween Horror Nights at night. It's actually a really good time to go into Diagon Alley if you want to miss the crowd, if you're ever here for Halloween Horror Nights, and you should be. Halloween Horror Nights is an awesome event. Directly down the entrance here is Gringotts, Escape from Gringotts rather. And then slightly to the left here is the Leaky Cauldron, an excellent restaurant. I highly recommend eating it. Very tasty. Now we could turn right here and walk in front of Weasley's Wizard Wheezes or Whizzes. We're going to end up walking that way when we leave Diagon Alley. We're walking here. To the left is where you can buy some wizard robes. And then right here is Ollivander's Wand Shop. Real quick here in front of Gringotts, I'm going to turn left. We're going to come up to the Fountain of Fair Fortune. This is probably my favorite place in both Hogsmeade and Diagon Alley to get butterbeer. Right next to the Fountain of Fair Fortune, you come to the Nocturne Alley entrance. There's a gift shop down there, Organ and Burks. It's very cool. I'm not going to walk down there because it's very, very dark, and this camera does not do well in low light. You won't be able to see anything, but it is awesome section in Diagon Alley. All throughout Diagon Alley and Hogsmeade as well, you can buy those wizard wands. You can do little... There's sections that you can walk up to and wave the wand in a certain pattern and something extra will happen. Ooh, they're about to get wet from the wand. Let's move on. This dragon breathes fire too, but I can't ever figure out the fire breathing schedule. Currently a 25-minute wait time for Escape from Gringotts. That's not bad. That's a fun ride. But let's move along here. Hey, how about that? I got the dragon. That was just dumb luck. Sort of wrapping up Diagon Alley. Like I said, I'm not going into any of the shops, but it would take you quite a bit of time to go through them all, and they're all worth going through. This little section, they do some little plays throughout the day, but right next to that is the hopping pot. I like these little picnic tables that you can sit at right in front of it, especially those little lights. And now we're back to that little road that I said you could walk in front of Weasley's Wizarding Whizzes, or Wheezes. Right next to that, Sugar Plum Sweet Shop. There's some awesome candy in there. I especially recommend the cauldron cakes, delicious. Walking right outside Harry Potter. As you can see, Grimwald Place. If you watch long enough, a creature peeks through one of these windows. We're moving on. Springfield, that's coming up. Don't you worry. But first, I wanted to show this up here by the lagoon. This is one of Lindsay and I's favorite places to come and sit at night. And either she drinks a butterbeer, have a wizarding brew, or whatever. And we kind of just sit and stare at Springfield. Let's move on. Let's keep checking out. It's getting dark. It's getting late. Well, it's getting dark because it's getting late. Then right here past Grimwald Place, I want to show you the excellent restroom facilities.
Complete with an ATM.
Complete. Hey, second ATM there. Now I know where 2 ATMs are. How about that? I learned something. Every time I come here, I learn something. Here you can see the Fear Factor live show. It used to be the old Bill and Ted Excellent Halloween Adventure. I think it was it called the Excellent Halloween Adventure? Had Horror Nights, but they discontinued it. Wish they'd bring it back, but you know what? It's not up to me. Last year it was Villains Academy, or Academy of Villains. And then right up here, past Fear Factor Stadium, Men in Black Alien Attack. This is a really fun shooter ride. Okay, coming up here on the right of Men in Black, we are now heading into Springfield. Absolutely love the Springfield section. As you come in here, I do want to point out, you could sort of bypass the Men in Black and the Fear Factor arena if you wanted to head from either to or from Springfield to Diagon Alley over that bridge. Personally, I love the Simpsons ride. I have heard a few people complain about it, but I like it a lot. They have some pretty hilarious carnival games out here in front of the Simpsons ride. Let's move on. Towards the end of Springfield here, you can see King and Kodo's Twirl and Hurl. A pretty fun little flat ride. And we've got the Quickie Mart, and then the Duff Beer Bar. And then right here across from the Duff Beer Bar, you can walk in there and there's several little quick service restaurants you can eat at. You can get a Krusty Burger, some Cletus chicken. I don't remember the names of everything you can get, but there's quite a bit. And then there's Moe's Tavern. So I find Krusty Burgers kind of interesting. They're pretty messy, but they're all right. They're a fun experience. But Bumblebee Man's taco truck is awesome. See you later, lard lad. Heading out of the Simpson area. Okay, so I am back again, but this time on a different day to complete this park tour, because the last time I was here and I was heading into the central park area / kid zone, it was getting dark, and it got so dark I couldn't see stuff very well. So let's pick up where we left off. Right? The one thing you may see today in this park tour that you didn't see yesterday is they have a lot more characters out during the day when it's on nice days. Yesterday it was raining and storming all day, and there wasn't as many character meet and greet opportunities. As you can see, we're heading up here. We could go right into Central Park, or immediately left, and they had the Animal Actors on Location show. Let's continue on into Kid Zone. Like I said, there's another part of Central Park over there. But we're heading this way, right towards SpongeBob SquarePants. And we're coming up on E.T. This is one of our favorite rides. I believe it is the oldest attraction currently in the park. If not the oldest, it is at least one of the oldest. And if we stand here looking at E.T., and instead of going towards that, we head left, we come up to a couple other kid attractions. Starting with Fievel's Playland. I remember watching these Fievel. Is it just one Fievel movie, or is it a couple?
There's a couple.
There's a couple? Okay. I remember watching it as a kid, and Lindsay said it's actually one of her favorites. Now, there's a lot of little climbing and ropes and nets and stuff for the kids. There's also a little water slide in there. We're going to move past Fievel. As you can see, right directly to that is A Day in the Park with Barney. I've never been in there. I have no idea what A Day in the Park with Barney is. What kind of show it is, nothing. I've never seen it. The only thing I've ever done is sort of have to walk through there to get to a horror night house. And here we go. This is a cute little roller coaster. Woody Woodpecker's Nuthouse Coaster. I'm proud to say I have ridden this with my kids and without. And then heading up here is the thing that I fear the most in any amusement park. Curious George goes to town. A complete wet mess. Oof. Yikes. Water and I in theme parks do not mix. As hot as it is today, still wouldn't go in there. Now don't get me wrong, I love water parks, but I like it to be a situation where I'm going to be in the water park all day getting wet, not go in there for 10 minutes, get wet, and then walk around trying to do other things wet. Although that does look fun. Maybe in the future. What do you think? Should I take our youngest in there someday before he gets too old? Where it would be too strange to see a grown man in his swimming trunks running around a water attraction.
I think that would be wise.
Yeah, I really don't like it, but I might.
He would love that. And he loves George.
Yes, he does. Time to leave Kids Zone and then go take a look at Central Park. Yeah, Lindsay doesn't have the same aversion to water as I do inside the theme park. She's gonna go get misted off. So now we're back here at Central Park and we're gonna head straight through there and see the first part of Central Park. There's actually two little sections, or two little walkways, I would say. This particular section, you can go down to the water there. Days when I'm in the park and I'm really tired, this is another one of the sections I like to kind of come and sit and relax. And this actually goes all the way back over and around to where you kind of close to the Transformer ride. This is also the best section of the park to catch the Cinematic Celebration light show that they have at Universal right at about the time the park closes. As we see SpongeBob SquarePants, we're going to hang out right here to the other portion of Central Park. Hey, it's the Back to the Future dock. See, there's some meet and greets out today. Now, this is one of my favorite sections of the park, top 5 I would say, and it also has...
How do you do? How do you do?
Also features usually some of my favorite scare zones for Halloween Horror Nights, which is 2.5 months away. You can see right there to my left, CNBC Media Center, where I'm not 100% what all they do in there, but I do know that some days they'll randomly ask people to come in and sample different media things, like either shows or clips from shows that are currently out, just kind of get your opinion on them. I've been lucky enough to do it once. And here we are leaving Central Park, and you can see I can hang right, head back to Transformers, but we're going to continue on forward into the Hollywood section. And the first thing you see heading into Hollywood is the Universal Orlando Horror Makeup Show, which is an awesome attraction. I highly suggest you check it out if you're here. We are almost all the way back to the beginning of Universal, so you can see the Hollywood, or the Orlando Horror Makeup Show. Now we're going to continue on through Hollywood. Right up here on the right, you can see Williams of Hollywood. This is a cool little prop shop that you can go in and buy old movie props and props that they've just had around Universal Studios. I like going in there every time I'm here to see if they have any new Horror Night stuff to buy. I mean, it's not new, but old Horror Night stuff up for sale. And usually they do. And as you're walking through Hollywood, it is a lot of fun to check out all the little stars and see who all's got a star here in the Universal Orlando Hollywood stretch. continuing through Hollywood. This is another good scare zone, usually during Halloween Horror Nights. Last year I had one of my favorite ones, Revenge of Chucky. And coming up on here is the old Terminator 2 ride. I don't know what's going on today with it. They got a bunch of construction walls. I don't know if they're just doing some maintenance on the facade or if they're actually maybe doing some building in there. I really don't know. I don't know what this old attraction is going to become. And here we go. We are all the way back to where we started. As you can see the Hello Kitty store there. And that Universal Studios store is the very first fork we came to. So that's going to do it for the full park tour. And that is going to do it for our park tour and walkthrough of Universal Studios. I would keep in mind there are a ton of gift shops at Universal Studios, and a lot of them sell similar merchandise, but they're all pretty unique as far as how they're laid out and what they look like decoration-wise. So thanks for watching.